Numbers are in, and Arizonans stepping right up to the plate, placing big bets on money, big money on sports in the month of October.
Yeah, that's right. Placing more than $641 million worth of sports bets. That is a higher monthly total than we have seen in more than a year and a half. But as 12 News journalist Joe Dana tells us, just as the D-backs World Series was a letdown, so are the revenues our state actually gets from all of those bets. Joe?
Yeah, some see this as a missed opportunity. Compared to many states, Arizona gets a small cut from sports betting companies' earnings.
A World Series brought big money into our state in many ways, but revenue from sports betting was not one of them. Bettors laid down more than $641 million worth of bets in October, $56 million kept by sportsbooks. But Arizona collected just $3.3 million from betting companies, money that goes towards general budget needs like schools, law enforcement, and health care. Why so little? Arizona's tax for online betting companies, where most sports betting takes place, is 10%. But our state doesn't actually collect that much.
This is the very definition of a sweetheart deal.
Will Humble advocates for public health care systems in the state and is a critic of the deal brokered by then-Governor Doug Ducey and a bipartisan group of legislators in 2021. It allows betting companies to write off large portions of their gross receipts for the first 5 years of the law's existence. Revenue that would otherwise go back to the state is instead used for giveaways to bettors, enticing them to bet more. That meant during the state's first full year of online and retail sports betting, the state brought in just $21 million from the sports betting industry.
That should be bringing in $50 million a year in receipts to the state.
The percentage of write-offs will gradually go down to zero in 2028.
And at that point, I think we're going to start to see more revenue come into the system in 2028 after everyone's been hooked.
Critics say the state could collect more from sports betting, one by raising annual licensing fees sportsbooks pay. That would be up to Governor Katie Hobbs's administration. Opponents of the law say there's another route to get more money from sports betting: sue the state. The law gave Arizona sports franchises exclusive rights to sports betting licenses. There was no bidding process, depriving the state of much higher revenues. The state constitution forbids gifts to private entities. Humble claims the no-bid process amounted to illegal gifts.
Where is the Goldwater Institute on this? This seems like Goldwater Institute, right up Goldwater Institute's alley. It's supposed to be a watchdog for government gifts and grift. What's bigger than this? Well, it's quiet as a church mouse over there.
In response to Humble's criticism, a spokesperson for the Goldwater Institute told 12 News they had no comment.
So for the foreseeable future, sports betting will be reserved for these exclusive few. It appears to only be growing in popularity with, relatively speaking, low financial returns for the state.
Okay, Joe, so what about other states that have online sports betting? I mean, what kind of taxes do they impose on the betting companies?
Every state's betting structure is different, but generally speaking, Arizona is in company with a few states. Colorado's rate is at 10%. It's 20% in Ohio, 15% in Illinois. Iowa and Nevada, though, they're just at 7%. Other states, though, are very high. New York and New Hampshire, they take their share, a whopping 51% from sports betting companies' revenues. The theory is the gaming industry is a vice. It doesn't have a lot of upside for a community, and it should give back a lot. By the way, compared to the marijuana industry here, dispensaries are taxed about 16% plus some extra sales tax, so almost doubled compared to the online gaming industry here.
All right, very interesting. All right, thank you, Joe.
Yep.